Okay guys, Eric again, gonna show you how to submersion dye or dip dye, clear coat the same way, and after the clear's done I'm going to show you how to use a horsehair buffing wheel and hit the edges on a clear coated holster. So let's get on it. For submersion dyeing, I use these high-tech food storage containers. You can get them at all $1 or wherever. Anyway, I'm gonna be using Angelus 505 Pro Black, and this is a brown shark pancake that is gonna be black. Keep in mind, some exotics are aniline dyed and they don't like taking dye on top of it, but I've had good luck with this brown taking dye. So anyway, I only use the containers for dyeing and then it goes back in. I probably got about a pint in there so you can see. Now, if there's one word I'm going to teach you for submersion dyeing, it's movement, okay? Don't splash. Everything has to be gentle and slow, but I'm going to move the holster and I'm going to move the dye, okay? This is going to be in here for maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and there's that splash thing I mentioned. Don't do that. When I dye leather, it doesn't matter whether it's shark, a regular holster, a mag holster, a belt, you still want the same thing. You want to be moving the holster and moving the dye at the same time, okay? That's adequate. Now I'm going to let this drip, and as you can see, the holster appear to go from wet to a drier finish. That's called flashing. I let the holster flash. Okay, you can see it start to flash right here. If you blow on it, it'll start to flash quicker. Now this is Angelus dye. It's an alcohol-based dye. I use Hbeleatherworks Pro Oil dye, and don't let the name fool you. Pro Oil is still an alcohol-based dye. The Pro Oil dye tends to flash a little slower. Anyway, that looks good. Great coverage. A lot of times, if you're having troubles with light spots with browns, you can get dye and actually rub it into the spots, and the friction will actually help the dye get absorbed into the leather a little better. So anyway, so I'm gonna hang this up. Follow me over here. I've got a window fan going all the time right there that's not in a window. I also have a window fan here to help suck glue, dye fumes out, all that stuff. So anyway, that's perfect. And let me put this back. Now if you're new to this, don't try this at home. I've done this about literally, I don't know how many tens of thousands of times, 15,000 times. And I have missed before, but not very often. Okay, all the dye's back in the jar. Tighten that up tight, put it back where it goes. Now I have two kinds of paper towels in my shop. I have cheap, crappy paper towels, which I use to clean my little storage bins out. And they don't have to be perfect because you're just going to put dye back in them. I get mine a little cleaner than normal because I mix. I'll do one holster Hbeleatherworks, I'll do another holster Angelus. I don't want to mix the dyes. Anyway, that's it for submersion dyeing. It's that easy. So next, let's do some clear coating. Now, pretend that black shark holster dried for a day. Okay? Now it turned into, follow me, it turned into this Cordovan DC tuckable. Now, dye as it gets older, submersion dyeing tends to get leather particles in it. And I can buff the particles off the outside, but I can't do the inside. So I actually found this really cool brush. And just to make sure, when I clear coat, I'm not clear coating those particles on the inside. I just give it a good brushing. Anyway, these are 8-inch horsehair wheels. This is a Landis motor from the 50s or 60s or 40s or whatever. This is my Browns wheel, my Blacks wheel. I use it for dye and clear coat. I have yet to have a problem with it. Let me show you how to buff. This is Cordovan brown, so I'm going to use my brown wheel. Now, you don't have to do this forever, but out of all of the things that I buff, whether it's clear coat or dye, this is the most critical buff you can do, because this buffing dye does a couple of things, okay? Dyes come with preservatives and stabilizers and all kinds of fun crap in them. All of those are made to leach to the top, okay? And it leaves a residue on the holster. So not only does buffing get rid of those, if you buff this enough, it actually helps prevent the dye from bleeding onto your client's clothes. The front's pretty good. I'm just making sure I get every square inch of this. And if I press too hard, my motor quits. So that's how I know if I'm buffing too hard, I actually overload the motor. Now you can see the sheen is back to that. That's gonna dye well. It looks like it might have some light spots when I clear coat it. I may want to hold off and re-dye this one. Always have a natural light in your shop. You can see how that's a little redder up here, but I honestly think that's going to clear quite well. So let's do it. Okay, my clear I do keep in a vat. I've got Angelus acrylic in here. I've got Phebenes, Resolene, mixed about 50-50 with water. And this is kind of thick, so I'm just going to dilute it down a little bit. And I really don't worry about mixing the crap out of it. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. Now this is where the second kind of paper towels come in. If you can find paper towels for 10 bucks a roll, buy them, okay? Same process. I'm gonna move the holster and I'm gonna move the dye, okay? In the same time frame, 10, 15, 20 second tops in here. And I'm just moving this. I'm moving the dye with one hand, I'm moving the holster with the other. I want to get the inside, the outside. This actually seals the holster inside now. It seals the thread. Every little hole the thread makes. And this is how this is. Anyway, as soon as this quits dripping a lot, you don't want to let it flash, okay? I go inside. I don't worry about getting every little thing. This is a tuckable, so I've got these little flaps I want to get behind here. Now you can blot this, you can wipe it down, you can do whatever you want. But I like to get the clear off of here. Some guys will just let it drip, and that's fine. I have found over the years of doing this, if I do this just like this, I get less streaks. And if you get streaks in clear, which is quite common, especially if you're using full strength Resolene or full strength Angelus clear, you can buff them out. Anyway, that is a clear coated holster. Now I'm going to hang this up in front of my fan. Now, let me put this away. And we are going to play like that holster's been drying for about 15 or 20 minutes. Like this one has. And I'm going to show you some neat tricks. This is where I can hit my edges. This is where I can give this a really, 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 really beautiful burnish. You don't want the clear to dry all the way. You want it to dry about 10 or 15 minutes so it's more solid. But believe it or not, it leaves the plastic or the leather more malleable and more moldable. So if you ever wanted to get your edges to look good, I'm about to show you a trick that I may or may not want to show you, but I will anyway. This is a dual offset loop inside the waistband. These will be here when I'm done. Anyway, now you can do this one of two ways, okay? I can let this dry to where that clear coat is a little drier, but I'm going to show you what I do now on my buffer. So, can you see those edges? Okay, follow me. The heat and the friction from the buffer will make these burnished edges. Well, I'll just do it and show you. How's that? There's no trick to it. Hit them any way you can. I'll even hit the front of the holster a little bit. You can see what it looks like. It's still got that kind of an opaque finish. I'll do this again tomorrow. You've got to let clear dry for 24 hours to 48 hours. Dry or clear coat is actually a series of acrylic platelets that as it cures, they evaporate. All the preservatives and stabilizers and all the liquid evaporates, and those platelets lay on top of each other, and that's what creates the shine, okay? But it's called curing or outgassing. Clear coat takes 24 to 48 hours to actually outgas and cure all the way, guys. So your holster, if you're using Resolene or any other liquid clear acrylic, it's actually going to get harder and shinier for 2 days, okay? Well, let's take this back over and look at it in a good light, and you can see what this did. See my edges? You see that holster? I'll buff this again tomorrow, but that is how you submersion dye, submersion clear coat, and I gave you the cheater's method to having great edges. You burnish it just as the clear is hardening, give it 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then go hit it on your buffer. If you don't have a buffer, well, good luck there. Anyway, thanks.